How many problems are there in a community that we don't know about? Whether or not a problem affects us, it affects the people around us and where we live. After reading countless articles and many scholarly journals, I have come to the conclusion that all types of problems have been around for the longest of time and still continue to rise to this day. My name is Nancy Valle, and the exploitation of workers not only harms the citizens of our community, but also immigrants living here, as well as children, and can even lead to unemployment. First, I will talk about what some of the problems are, then the extent and a possible solution. Now let's move on to recognize what is affecting us and our community. A lot of workers are left to fend for themselves and struggle to maintain a peaceful and decent life, which can lead to many disadvantages. Many people who work in the community are not specifically from California or from even this country, so many expect to find more opportunities, but that does not always seem to come true. Many workers are also being lied to about their benefits for work and are being used to work and instead benefit bigger companies. Immigrant workers take the opportunity to leave their home to gain more money and in order to help their families, but in the end end up being in a much more worse place than they were before. The article titled "Made in LA: Sweated Labor in the U.S. Garment Industry" by Yenny Dewey and Crescent Pottinger, published in 2019, talks about a mother being promised a home and more income if she came to work for a labor company in the U.S., but that did not end up coming true. Adults are not the only ones that struggle with labor and bad experiences, because children are also harmed. Millions of children from ages 5 to 17 are forced into labor since certain goods in the U.S. are made by them and then transported. The article titled "The Trade Effects of Information Provision About Forced and Child Labor" by Margarita Klimek, published in 2023, states if importing firms and consumers choose to avoid buying the product as a result of information provision, then the market share of exploitative firms and countries is lost, thereby giving them a clear incentive to cease their use of exploitative labor practices. Last but not least, another problem is less workers in industries due to low wages and discrimination. Many employers and businesses discriminate against people of color and can even enforce lower wages. According to statistics data published in 2023, in the United States, it shows that unemployment for Blacks, Puerto Rican, Mexicans, and other people of color have been higher than any other ethnicity and have even gone up to a rate of 6.1%. Many workers don't have a safe environment that they are promised and have to go through so horrible situations. Many don't know that innocent children and others want a better life for themselves and for their loved ones who are mistreated. People in the labor force are not working as much, and the number of employed people has reached 472,000 and counting. After reviewing a few problems, I can now present a possible solution. Small beginnings can turn into something bigger, which is why we should start clubs in schools to advocate unfairness towards workers, immigrants, children, or anyone in our community, and spread the word about what employers' plans are towards them. What better way is there to solve these problems than with its own members of the community, such as young individuals and people who would want to see a change in better working conditions, equality, and positive economic growth. Everyone in the community is entitled to having safety, just as it is shown on Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid. And this solution would bring unemployment and encourage the need for more resources for people who don't have it. The solution to start with our city council listening to our problems that have not been fixed, and then which will lead to more support to implement more materials and members. Of course, the solution can never be that easy, so let's find out the small steps towards improvement. Clubs at school should be made, administered, and managed by principals and staff in order to get students to participate and spread the word. Once that is done, the power of the students will reach the attention of city council, because after all, there are also many other problems in the community that are not being paid much attention to and left in the hands of the residents to solve. The city council has more power than students and other individuals, and with their help, more groups of people can unite all over the state, not just the city. The government, companies, business owners, or whoever is responsible for workers and bad working conditions, as well as unfairness towards wages and safety, expect nothing to be done, but the community's residents should make a move. The action for our community can cause consequences, such as businesses enforcing more rules and laws for their workers, or we could even stay in the same place than we were before with little to no help. We can all do our part. We can all do our part to make our community a better place, and by doing so, we can not only improve the lives of those around us, but also contribute to a future for ourselves and future generations. In our community, many people are not aware about the exploitation of workers, immigrants, children, and about the unemployment. First, I talk about a few problems, then the extent of the problem and a solution at the end. Some of the problems are employers being lied to about their benefits, children being exposed to horrible conditions and bad experiences, and also many employers and businesses discriminating against people of color. My solution includes its own members of the community to advocate for wrongdoings and to help those in need by getting the public and other stakeholders involved. It is up to each of us to make a positive impact in our community, and by doing so, we can create a brighter and bigger future for all of us. Thank you.